pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Does anybody have anything? Okay, we'll move on. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
Second.
Second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
Moved by Steve. Second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. There's no district goals or leadership activities at this time and no bid request items. We'll move on to our first item of business, 7.01. Katie Harder will give us an update on our budget.
Hi, good evening, Chairman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. In your packet, you have a budget update for the rec board. This is to give you an idea of where you are at before you hear the grant requests. Just so you know, the numbers are an estimate and they are conservative, same as the projected revenue. It could be slightly more than that. You can see the reoccurring expenditures with the athletic trainer, aquatics, operations, and activities, supplies, and staff development. I also added in the proposal for additional aquatic staff to the reoccurring expenditures should that be approved. That has a range of $27,000 to $44,000 depending on health and dental insurance. With the reoccurring mid-range request of about $35,000 and non-reoccurring requests of about $414,000, this comes to a total of about $419,000. Note that in order to get the stadium scoreboard in fall for 2025, the purchase will have to happen before the fiscal year of 2026. So the whole $200,000 is allotted for the 24-25 fiscal year. Also, we have earmarked the $50,000 for the Riverside Playground. You will not be dipping into your undesignated reserves. Also note that we are adding into the turf field reserves every year. So your reserves are going to be healthy. Are there any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Moving on to 7.02, consider approval of the City of Green River request for the 4th session of the summer swim lessons. Sherry Schumacher.
Hi, Chairman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and the Board of Trustees. I'm Sherry Schumacher with the City of Green River Parks and Recreation Department. And I am here to request funds to run a 4th session of summer swimming lessons this summer. This session will be held at the Green River High School Aquatic Center like it is every year. And we anticipate somewhere around 150-ish kids for that session.
Can I get a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion. We approve the request for $8,966.
Second.
Moved by Steve, second by Dave. Any discussion?
A lot
All
of kids we touch.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7.03, consider approval of the City of Green River request for the summer day camp program. Rainey.
Hello.
Hi.
So for the 9th year, Summer Day Camp is requesting funds to help with our summer day camp program, where we reach anywhere, like last year, I think we reached 157 individual campers. So we're just hoping for that funding again to continue on with the program.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve $19,680.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Steve. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just note that the district's doing 19,680 and the total program cost is 135,000. So just so people know.
Thank you. Um. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7.04, consider approval of the City of Green River request for sports field scoreboards. Chuck Bryan.
Hello, I'm Chuck, I'm the Parks and Rec Supervisor. We're requesting about 24,800 for 4 new scoreboards for our baseball and football fields. We have a brand new one at Vets that the high school team uses. It's very good. It has little hand packs, so you don't have to be mobile inside that little box. If you are helping score and your children are playing, you can actually get out there and cheer them on and still be part of it. And it also doubles as a youth football scoreboards because they have timers and quarters and not just innings and hits. So, any questions? I guess so. The ones we do have are about 25 years old that are on the fields now. They're very antiquated, old, and extremely difficult to maintain. And they're also hardwired too. So there's actually a wire in the ground that runs all the way from one scoreboard to the score booth. So if there's any issues or we have to dig up for any reason for irrigation or anything like that, then we do run the risk of hitting that line and having a completely dead scoreboard.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the City of Green River request for sport field scoreboards in the amount of $24,835?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Dave. Any discussion?
Let me see if I got
Total
this.
cost?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Total cost?
24,000 is what we're asking. Total cost is right below 30. There will be new electrical and crane and install, but that'll all be done in-house by the city ball field crews.
And this is the one at Vets and 3 at Strats.
Correct. It'll cover, the only one will be left will be the Collier softball field that the city runs. And we're thinking, thought process here is that when we tear down 4, we will have parts to replace that one without trying to go second. I mean, they're old and antiquated, so you don't have to go second market to try to find them. We'll have them in-house.
And I would just say that I had a grandkid that played in the football league, and those referees are able to actually operate the clock from the field while they're reffing, and it's really kind of cool. So it'll help with the other Vets field. And then you do flag football down at Stratton.
Correct.
All the other little sports. So
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 705, consider approval of Green River Grapplers request for Green River Wrestling Camp. Nick Mamlis and Josh Wisniewski.
Hi, I'm Nick Mamlis. So we have the opportunity this summer to put on a wrestling camp for the youth that wrestle here in Green River from, 3rd grade up through hopefully Tommy Dalton comes back, he's in college now. So it's an opportunity to provide some extra experience in a weekend for everyone in the community that's involved in that sport. Zach Esposito is who we're trying to bring in. He's been coaching one of the top programs in Division I wrestling for a long time now, and he's currently coaching Team USA's world and international team. So it's a good opportunity for us. We're looking to have 80 to 100 kids in there.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve the Green River Grapplers request for Green River Wrestling Camp 2024 in the amount of $5,000?
All motion.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mark, second by Dan. Is there any discussion?
Nick, is there a registration fee for the kids?
So we're trying to have it open for Green River residents.
So free.
Free for Green River. Yeah,
Okay.
Green River residents.
And then I'm assuming the 5,000 includes a fee for your your guy that's coming in?
Yeah, that most of that goes to cover his cost, and then we were trying to put out camp shirts with the
Okay,
rest.
all right, thanks.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7.06, consider approval of the Green River Miracle League request. Don Tramp.
Hello, I'm Donna Tramp and good evening to the board. We have some little helpers with us today. I also want to introduce you. So here we have Mason and Noah, Mason Torrens, Noah Montgomery. They both played on our Challenger League last year. And we usually do a thank you card, but this year Brittany came up with a really good idea to hand out a thank you Cracker Jacks, which is super cute. Kids' idea as well. I would like to introduce you to Brittany Montgomery. She's going to be doing the presentation. Former Challenger League. Now we are a new Miracle League organization.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Rec Board. My name is Brittany Montgomery, and I'm here tonight with a few other board members and some of our players to speak on behalf of the new named Miracle League of Sweetwater County. So we're formerly known as the Challenger League, and the Challenger League has players in Green River and Rock Springs. With this new title, we're joining the Miracle League organization, and we are now known as the Miracle League of Sweetwater County. We are going to be the one and only Miracle League here in Wyoming. We have 2 Miracle Leagues that are in Utah, and I'll show you those later. So we're pretty excited to be the ones to house it here in Sweetwater, and I'll tell you later how and why we want to keep it here in Green River. Even though we are being called the Miracle League of Sweetwater County this year, we're still going to be utilizing the Stratton Myers fields that we've used in the past. These are not ADA inclusive, but we do love their beautiful fields and we love them for what they offer us. So for this 2024 season, we have 59 players and we are actually officially closed now. We tried to close at 50 and we have 9 more. So we're pretty excited though to have 59 players between Green River and Rock Springs for this year. We are seeking recreation funds in the amount of $4,045.60. We intend to use this for uniforms, equipment, and also this year we're being asked to do insurance, and that goes with that Miracle League organization title. So becoming the Miracle League organization, again, we had similar mission values as the Challenger League. So the overall mission is to provide opportunities for children with disabilities to play Miracle League baseball. You'll often see it was on the title of our presentation, every child deserves a chance to play baseball. That's really the foundation and the goal of our organization. So also promoting community support and sponsorship of the league, and then also promoting the construction of special facilities that meet those unique needs of the players and their families. So the Miracle League organization is all around the United States. It's also in other countries. On the left, you can see this is the field in West Jordan, Utah. And so it's kind of neat to be able to see what a field looks like close to us. And then on the right side, this is actually a field in Puerto Rico. So kind of neat to see what it looks like in other countries. Again, we will have the one here in Wyoming. And so one thing you'll see and recognize in the photos is not only is there the inclusive baseball field, but you get the dugouts, the bathrooms, parking as well. And then there's also an inclusive playground that's attached. So pretty exciting to see and dream. So we have a few short-term goals to get us towards breaking ground. Right now we're in phase 1, which is introducing and creating partnerships within our community to determine and secure a location. We do have land that we're looking at, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So while we're working on the land agreement and purchasing the land, we're also going to work on acquiring $1 million to begin the project. Once we do those two things, then we'll start getting quotes from vendors for the, and then start working on developing the construction schedule. Another piece to building a Miracle League is they have very specific ADA inclusive specs and materials and certain manufacturers they want us to use. So it's an aggressive plan, but it's nice to have that stuff mapped out. So again, once we acquire the land, the agreement, and some of our funding, we'll be able to do this pretty quickly. So then we'll start construction on the Miracle League and we'll have an opening day celebration. Long-term goals, you'll see up here, this is a long-term dream kind of goal for what we would like it to look like here in Sweetwater. But long-term goals for us, we would love to be able to welcome other players in Wyoming and have a tournament where we include some of the Utah teams. You can expand the Miracle League to include not just a recreational league, but also a competitive league, and you can have cheerleaders and other sports down the road can also become included. So this would also be a future event space for our community, for fundraisers, for sports and things like that. It will be ADA inclusive and have accessible playgrounds, as well as future, hopefully, ADA inclusive and accessible attachments. We really would love to attach putt-putt golf, and you can see that it's up there in our dream, model. So I kind of mentioned we are currently in phase 1 of trying to reach a land agreement. Up here, you can see where we've kind of, again, not to spec, but you can see what we've kind of designed for what we'd like it to look like and where we'd like to put that golf space in the future. So again, because coming with the Miracle League field, you need to have 2 dugouts that are also accessible and inclusive. You have to have the equipment storage area, the restrooms, and then the parking, and a playground. So you need a pretty decent sized space. And then obviously any chance to evolve or grow, you want to have more space. So we like this location. We did look at a couple of other spaces around Green River, and this one's one that we love. We love it. It's right there looking at the other baseball fields. One of our favorite things about this is that it's in Green River. We do have some offers in Rock Springs for land, but it's really important to us to keep it here. We know it's important to our players and their families, and also our district and our rec board here has been a big part of this over the years. So we hope to reach that agreement and get this built here. So again, today we're specifically seeking $4,045.60 for the 2024 season, and that'll get us equipment, uniforms, and insurance, which is a new cost for us. So, any questions on that? Specific questions?
Madam
That's a
Chair,
lot.
before we do a motion, I have a question.
Yes.
Our grant request in our book is showing 32,5958.
Yes, we adjusted that. So with those extra players, we had to cover the cost of their uniforms and then the insurance. We had done a kind of, what did we call it? Like
An estimate. Because we didn't have all the forms in, and so we went off last year, we had 42 players. And so this year we were kind of asking for the same players we had last year, and it's kind of blown up a little bit more this year, and now we have 59. And also the added cost, Challenger League is always, we were under the umbrella of them as far as their insurance. Now we're our own organization. We have to come up with our own insurance this year. And so we are asking a little more so that we can provide insurance for the kids. And that was stated through Debbie at the city. She really asked for that $1 million coverage.
Yeah, so when we filled out the form, we didn't have the exact number of players yet. So it did add to our budget for uniforms. We had overestimated for insurance, but again, the added players, is exciting, but it also caused more for our uniforms. So
Okay, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion. We approve 4,045.60.
Second.
You
Okay,
get that, Katie? That different number?
moved by Steve, second by Tom. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Moving on to item 7.07, consider approval for the LMS Wolverine Disc Golf Course request. Michael Hoops. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's not a packet, but
We do.
things have changed.
Okay.
And there's information.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to seek approval for $6,000 to add to our current Wolverine disc golf course at Lincoln Middle School and moving up to the field behind Monroe. You've probably noticed over the last year and a half that our course at the middle school is being used a lot by the community. We use it during our curriculum at Lincoln Middle School, and I've been talking with the city about beginning to have tournaments and possible rec leagues for disc golf. And for that to happen, we really need more holes. And currently, the best place to start is to put as you can see on the map that I handed you, I have it labeled 11 through 18 are the ones that or 10 through 18 are the holes that we currently have. And as far as having tournaments, it would make more sense to start at the holes that are being proposed, mostly for convenience of parking and having a head table near the parking area. So the holes that we are proposing are holes 1 through 9, starting down below the Monroe fields and then skirting the outside of the Monroe field. We've taken the possibility of people playing at the playground into consideration and tried to keep all the baskets as far away from the playground as we can, and using structures that are currently there for tee pads so that we won't have to build any new tee pads. Do you have any questions for me as far as the process or any of the funding?
Well, I have a question. Have you consulted Mike Iamone?
Yes.
On how we?
Yes, I talked to Mr. Iamone and to Mr. Mickelson about the placement of these holes. On the second page of the packet, it shows kind of what the main sign by hole 1 would entail. It shows a map of the entire course and then rules and etiquette. And the course, any of the holes that are on the playground area or the field at Monroe would definitely be closed to the public during school hours. Just like the holes at the middle school are closed during any extracurricular activities. Like you can't go play the course during a football game or during a soccer game. And that goes the same for during school hours. We can't have people in the community playing while they're at recess or even during school hours. So that's one of the rules that will definitely need to be enforced. And hopefully the signage will let people understand.
Also, with when you use it for your PE classes, are you guys just going to be staying on the
So
Lincoln?
we'll come
or you'll
up
go-
to the upper field as well, but we won't use those 4 holes that are at. We also have some foldable baskets that we use for our curriculum. So we would use those with a mixture of the ones on the east side of the Monroe fields so that we wouldn't be encroaching on their area.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve A motion to approve the LMS Wolverine Disc Golf Course request in the amount of $6,000.
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Steve. Any discussion?
Well, I think the numbers you shared with us clearly shows it's well liked in Lincoln School.
Oh, yes, I totally forgot about that. That's my
Okay.
favorite part. So since I sent the packet to previous, 3 of the 4 teachers at Lincoln Middle School gave all of our students a survey. So out of the 527 students, 403 were surveyed. And I was actually surprised how positive. I knew that my students really enjoy disc golf because I see them play, but the other classes want to play. The classes who haven't played want to play. One of the other classes that has played really enjoys it. And I was shocked at how many would like to have a league if the city rec was going to be able to put that on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the possibilities on this are
Yes.
Good.
And it is
Very-
the fastest growing sport
except
in
pickleball.
America.
Except
It's
pickleball.
right above pickleball. I was surprised. I thought pickleball was ahead for a minute, but and it's actually the fastest in the world as well. So
What's the
Great.
kind of time frame on this?
with the previous 9 holes, as soon as we got the baskets, maintenance put them in pretty much immediately. It took them 2 days to put all the baskets in. So, and it's very easy to mow around. They're all weather resistant. Those baskets will last 40, 50 years as long as they're not being vandalized. So.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thanks, good luck.
Item 7.08, consider approval for the GRHS Aquatic Center new timing and scoring system request.
Chairman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. I'm here to request 2 items. The first item is the touchpads, cable, starter unit from Colorado Timing System. With the installation and training would be not to exceed 57,000. The second item would be the scoreboard with Colorado Timing System to not exceed 52,000. Working with the activities director, Tony Beardsley, and we decided to put it in 2 items and talk to you guys about our rationale and how we came up with the thought process. Do you have any questions right off the bat? The brief history behind this is our current touchpads from Daktronics are this fall will be 10 years old. And in the last 2 years, we've roughly, I would say about 6 to 7 touchpads have quit working. So with Tony and I, we started talking about when would be the appropriate time to replace the touchpads. We called Daktronics this January, right after the first of the year. And that's when Daktronics decided to tell us they were no longer in the service of swimming and timing, touchpads, starters, those things. So our services have to be transferred over to Colorado Timing System. I talked to Colorado Timing System and their connectors with all their cables and plates and everything are not compatible with Daktronics stuff. So that is the first item, the 57,000. That gives us the ability to run our swim meets for middle school, high school, club, and hopefully future college meets. The second component to it was, does Colorado Timing System work with our current scoreboard? We brought them on site. They looked at our board and they're saying yes, they have software that will link to the current scoreboard. And that's why we did the two parcels, item 1 or item 2. Although with the current scoreboard, we are at 10 years with it. You are bringing a new infrastructure, working with the old scoreboard and one company to the other company. So I would imagine at some point we would have to replace that scoreboard. So any questions?
No questions, I don't think. Can I get a motion to approve? We'll just do it in two separate ones. So a motion to approve the major facilities equipment, GRHS Aquatic Center timing and scoring system in the amount of not to exceed $57,000.
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And then can I get a motion to approve the major facilities equipment, GRHS Aquatic Center, CTS, full color video display scoreboard, not to exceed $52,000.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Dan.
I would just say, I think it's important I see problems. I mean, they say it's compatible, but it's not their system. Right. I see the first big meet and the thing don't work. So I think we should go for it. Let's get it-
Question,
Let's fix it right.
I'm gonna have the same question for the football field. I love the idea of video display scoreboards. I think we all probably do. Who supplies the video equipment?
With CTS?
Yeah, I mean, if you're videoing meets and heats and stuff, who supplies all that video?
I believe me and my staff would be
They
trained.
already have that equipment?
That's a great question. I would look into it.
Cause I see a hidden cost there of
Right.
probably a number of thousands of dollars. So I think I'll have the same question for the football scoreboard too. So I think that's something to take into consideration. I mean, I think you move ahead with the program. I just think you need to be aware that there's gonna be a hidden cost for you probably there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Probably right.
Thank you. Anybody other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Stay there. We also have added 7.08A, consider approval of the GRHS Aquatic Center lifeguard position request.
Thank you for adding this to the agenda. Brief history. We had a position. We were working with the district back in the 15-16 school year during a tough budget time. We dissolved that position for the start of the next year. At that point in time, Jackson was still up and running. We still had Monroe Intermediate and PE teachers with our 5th and 6th grade. It was a work in progress. Is this going to work? Can it manage? Then Jackson closed. We lost Rick Barker as the PE teacher that came with our 5th and 6th graders. And then, okay, well, can we still work with this? We're looking at it. Then COVID happened. And then in 2022 is when I started working with Tony on conversations and looking at, is this working? Is it, or is it not? And we felt that this was the right time to approach to bring back the level of our staffing that we had before. Any questions?
What time do you open in the morning and what time do you close?
We Monday through Friday during the school year for 9 months of the year, we open. My opening staff is there at 5 a.m. and then I have a closing staff that closes at 8:30 after the club's done. That's Monday through Friday. Our activities director has decided to showcase our facility a lot. So we have a lot of Saturday and Sunday swim meets. So that's just our 9 months. And currently we have 2 openers and 2 closers and then just me. So we roughly, just for the 5 days a week, we have 5 people for almost 16 hours. The biggest issue we're running into is our, when we dissolve the position, the idea was to create a substitute pool. And that just is not working very well. So for an example today, hypothetically, if one of my openers called in sick, her kid was sick, there would be just me and my head lifeguard there for a number of hours doing swim instruction when nobody's actually lifeguarding. So this allows us to operate in a safe manner.
And so you're evidently going to ask for this on a year-to-year basis. You're going to want it in the fees, encumbered fees for the operation of the aquatic center.
It would be reoccurring,
Would
yes.
need to fall into a different spot. So everybody's aware of that.
I would just also say, thank you for including your schedule because you can tell it like all day, every day, the pool's being utilized. So
So the request is for $27,033.40. What's the total request? I'm confused.
I think it's right here.
It would be,
So this position is only for during the school year. This is a
Yeah.
9-month position, not a summer.
and it would be part-time, 35 hours. If there was a need for them to work beyond the 5 hour or 35 hours, such as a Saturday swim meet, they would not be encroaching on the overtime. That 5 hour window allows us that flex schedule.
So again, my question is it 27,000
It,
or it varies?
It looks.
I'll make a motion, we approve this, and I'll do it for 2 reasons: safety issue and a supervisory issue.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Dave. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
you.
carries.
Thank you all very much.
7.09, consider approval of district activities request. Tony Beardsley.
Good evening, Rec Board Chair Castilian, Vice Chair Sanders, Rec Board Trustees, and Superintendent Behringer. I've got 2 requests from the Activities Department. We'll start first with a request to approve our weight room coaching salaries funding. This would be the 3rd year, and it would with insurance increases, all of that should not exceed $39,000. Before we had this, of course, we had 59 students involved. After the first year, we had 214. And this summer, we had up to 243 students involved. I included in my request a little statement from Cooper Palmer, who we hired as one of the head strength coaches last year. And he then forwarded some data for us. And I think, can you show that data? If you look, those are all the students in the 3 core lifts. And that first one is probably just 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, football player, males, excuse me. The green are those athletes that increased in strength very dramatically in the 3 core lifts. The next one, those are, is that the girls? I think that is our girl athletes in the 3 core lifts. Oh, that's okay. So anyway, included are sophomores up and then the girls as well as freshman boys. And you can see that we have been making great strides in strength improvement in those 3 areas. So with that, the full request, we'd like to do it again and hire Cooper and the rest of the strength crew with that not to exceed $39,000 to continue our progress.
Can I get a motion to approve for weight training staff not to exceed 39,000?
So moved.
Moved by Dave,
Second.
second by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Our second request is to reach out to the rec board to earmark money, actually, to request funding not to exceed $200,000. We were going to do this in a two-step process, but after talking with the business office with Katie and Chris, they made a good point that if we are shooting for the summer of 2025 for our updated scoreboard system, that we should ask for the money now so that there's no delay. If we wait and ask for the second set of half of the money next March, it may slow us down in making sure the project moves forward for 2025. So we, as an activities department, are asking not to exceed 200,000 for what really will be our ideal plan is to have a video scoreboard on one end of the field and a regular scoreboard on the other end of the field, and also have a play clock on each end of the field. I put a packet in front of you. And if you look at pages 2 and 3, it gives you an example of the digital scoreboard that would be on one end, and then the regular scoreboard that would be on the other end of the field. Obviously, this new digital scoreboard would show all of our track times, scores. It would coordinate with our Finish Link system for track and so on and so forth. And then to answer Mr. Sanders' question about the technology, one thing I do know now that I've researched both Daktronics and Nevco company, there's really two companies. This is an example of Daktronics, but I also gave you some pictures of some Nevco clocks, which are the same company that the city's asking for their scoreboards from. All the equipment to do all the digital, to do the pictures, the photos, to do highlights, to make it really cool and all of that. You get all of that. They train you in all of that. If you want to go further and the band is playing and you want to video that, our Huddle camera integrates with that. So that helps us at the stadium. And then they would see that live feed. But we could work with technology, just like you said, Mr. Sanders, and incorporate cameras that'll integrate, and then we could show live or instant replays on the video boards. So that's what you're talking about. But in order to do the fancy letters, all the graphics, all the photos, whatever you want to do there, we have all that. And what you normally do is you have students from your tech department and all that. You train them and they love doing this. And JR used to do this kind of stuff. So they would help run the equipment. So most of it, yes, you do have, and they incorporate in there.
Thank you.
So that's what we're looking for. Any other questions?
Mr. Beardsley, the price would include the crown?
Yeah, so with that price, Mr. Wilson, I estimated that price after talking to both the sales reps to be able to design something that looks similar to that one with the crown. So it may not have that crown, but it would allow us to create the designs we want, to have the score clocks we want, and to provide some money for the installation as well. So it should cover that to make sure we get what we want. I'm not sure what company we'll go with yet. They're both strong. As you can see, Daktronics isn't doing swimming. This Star Valley uses Nevco. They're putting in a football one this year, and they already have basketball, video basketball. It's Cody that's used Daktronics. They're very happy with theirs. Very happy. So.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the rec mill funds for the Wolf Stadium scoreboard? Oh, in the amount of $200,000.
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Dave. Any other discussion?
So just to make this clear, we're funding the 200,000 out of the current or the upcoming fiscal year budget starting July 1.
Yes.
And the project won't be completed till the summer of 2025.
The reason being is so we can make sure we move on the project, get it in there to 25. And the reason we have to wait is because of soccer, track,
I
all
just
of
want
those
that for the
things.
public's
Yep.
perspective. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right, well,
Oh.
before we do that, Tom, the scoreboard we have now was put up in 99 or 98.
Earlier than that, because we opened with Star Valley, and the reason we put scoreboard in is we got struck by lightning. If you remember that, and Tom Price is still traumatized by that, but
Right.
that was about 1994.
94. I thought it'd been there a long time. Okay. 30 years.
I would also add that we're asking for 200,000. Obviously, my goal would be it may not cost that much, but we don't want to go over that. So I've been given word. I've been given word that we should be able to get something good. So
Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Oh, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and for all that you do for our community. And with that, we'll adjourn this meeting. I know. I'm gonna run too.
Okay, we'll do a 5-minute break.
Okay.
5-minute break, 6:05. Okay. 6:05. Order of business tonight. Welcome, everybody, by the way, is our Pledge of Allegiance. And can we have former school board member Mark Anderson lead us in the pledge tonight, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic
Thank you, Mark, and welcome back. It's been a while. First item on our agenda is public comments. Now's the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized, speak on items on the agenda, or have general concerns of the district. Limit of 3 minutes for individuals, 5 for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel. Therefore, matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Does anybody like to speak to us tonight? Got a big audience. Seeing none, we'll move on. Thanks. First item is recognition of Dustin Shilcox during Disability Awareness Month. We welcome Dr. Demaray to the podium.
Thank you, Chairman Core and Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. March is Disability Awareness Month, and earlier in this school year, Stephen Lake from Harrison had asked if we could do a variety of activities at the elementaries to try to educate our youth about folks with disabilities, how they should interact with individuals that have disabilities, just to try to, again, bring that sense of inclusiveness within our student body. And so in doing that, I had reached out to Dustin to see if he'd be willing to come in and present at our schools in an assembly type setting, just a very informal kind of Q&A with our principals, be able to interact with some of the students. And of course, Dustin was very agreeable to that, and it's been a really big hit. Now, if you're not aware, Dustin Shilcox has a foundation that he does public speaking for and goes around the country and has been very active, I know, in our community at doing public speaking events, motivational speeches. He's done some for our school district here, some of our staff members, our mentors, some of our new teachers, as well as I know he's been really busy this month and last month with the Minds, going out there and speaking with those folks about a variety of topics. But I just felt like it was important to recognize Dustin for his willingness to always give back to the community. I know that he's been really instrumental with some of the projects in our community for making those inclusive for all individuals, such as a green belt and some of those items throughout our community. I don't think he gets recognized enough. I know he doesn't seek that recognition, but I just wanted to publicly thank him for coming to our schools. He's been to Harrison earlier last week. He'll be at Washington, Monroe, and Truman on the 20th. Again, we have a little bit of fun as well. We put a obstacle course where we have some students that we have go in a wheelchair, and they get timed to see if they can beat Dustin when he goes through the obstacle course. And they get to really see how challenging some of those obstacles could be. They have to go across a mat that represents like a sandy area. And it's fair to say that the first time we did this, Dustin beat all of the children by a considerable amount of time. But it does present them with a good visual of the challenges. But also, Dustin does a great job at answering questions about how should you, interact with someone who has a disability? How do you approach them? What are some appropriate questions to ask? What are some things you probably shouldn't say or do? And I know in talking with Dustin, he felt like, well, our community needs that as a whole, adults as well, just to be respectful. And he really brings a really great message about just being kind, regardless if you have a disability or not. And so with that, I just wanted to say thank you to Dustin for coming around to our schools. So
Thank you, Dustin.
Could be a game changer. They would be paralyzed forever.
Accidents can change your life in an instant. For people who are paralyzed by spinal cord injury,
Doctors zapping a patient's spinal cord with electricity.
one patient who has made remarkable strides using some groundbreaking.
Well, thank you so much for recognizing me here tonight. I really appreciate it. I mean, but I can't say enough how much this community has done for me. And so just being able to come back and talk to students, and I really think just giving that exposure to someone with a disability, like we just don't have it in this area. So I love being able to talk to kids, adults about, you know, how it is okay to come up to someone with a disability and say, hi, how are you doing? You know, ask a question. But even more than that, this community's done so much for me. And even with the Greenbelt, you know, I just donated 100,000 to help the Skyline Trail, you know, actually start happening. And it's going to be amazing, not just for people with disabilities, but the whole community, because they've been so behind me on this journey. And so I can't say enough on how much it means to me to have these opportunities to come out and, you know, speak to students, the community, and anywhere I can be involved. So I really appreciate you guys, you know, acknowledging me for this, but it's, you know, we come from a great area, and I can't say enough about the people in it. So thank you guys so much for tonight.
All right, we appreciate you, Dustin. Thank you.
Your little story. So Dustin was one of my students back in the 90s, back when I was just a young teacher. But anyway, because we have an audience of young students here, you wear your seatbelt. In 2010, he was just a normal student, just like you. I left one day and did that every single thing he does every day, drive to Rock Springs and back. But one time, he didn't wear his seatbelt. And that's where he sits. So he is paralyzed from the chest down, and it's a complete paralyzed. So there's no hope for him. But through his endurance and his perseverance, he became the first man in the world to be able to stand following a complete spinal injury. And it's only through his perseverance and the character that he shows. He doesn't park in handicap parking. He parks in the back. He drives a regular pickup, although it's a Ford, but using a device that he invented himself. So sometimes we don't understand when we are in the presence of greatness, but you are in the presence of greatness right now, and he sits right there. So thank you.
Thanks, Dustin. Thanks, Dustin, again, for everything you do for our community. We appreciate it. Next up is our recognition of our 3A Wrestling Coach of the Year, Mr. Beardsley.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees, I get the honor and privilege again to introduce another one of our great coaches. West, 3A West Coach, Wrestling Coach of the Year, now back-to-back state championship coach. Actually, if you count the state championship that we won, and I still have the trophy, in 7 years now, Coach Wisniewski has won that, 3 times, taken second once, third and fourth. So it's my honor and privilege once again to recognize and bring up our 3A West Wrestling Coach of the Year, Mr. Josh Wisniewski.
Congratulations, Coach, and great job, man. Now we get to celebrate the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. But before I bring the guys up, I also want to, let me back up a little bit. So you guys know Coach Lamb. He gave me some Well, he didn't give me advice because I already kind of knew it, but he's like some really good advice that I always like to tell people, and I kind of steal it from him is surround yourself, or you're the average of your 5 best friends. And I kind of turned that into, yeah, surround yourself with great people. So, I, you know, these honors are great, but it's about these kids. But to get these honors, we couldn't get it without the kids, and I definitely couldn't do it without my assistant coaches. So I know 2 of them are up here tonight. Coach Eric, or 3 of them, Coach Eric, or Coach Wright, the other Coach Wright, and Coach Hoops. Where'd you go? You hiding? Come up here. So, you try to surround yourself with great people, and they help make you look good when you have the title or whatever you want to call it. So, other than that, I'm talking too much here. Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, the rest of the Board of Trustees, we are really humbled and honored to be here to recognize our state championship team. Come on up here, guys. Back to back. They were pretty agreeable to put the shirts on. I thought it'd be kind of cool. So appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's an honor to be here, and I myself and the coaches have had a great honor to work with these young student athletes. The one thing when I think about this team, I think of first grit and resilience. We had a lot of injuries this year. We fought through a lot of injuries, and that's just kind of what you do in wrestling. You wrestle injured, you wrestle hurt, right? That's kind of what the cloth that we're made of, and what kind of differs our sport from other sports, I believe. But these guys, the 2 words I can explain is they're blue collar. They come to work every day, they practice, they got their hard hats on, and their lunch pails at their side. There's not much in those lunch pails, but they have them anyways. But they just went to work all season long, every practice. And the leadership was so great this year. They could really just run the show. They ran their own warm-ups during tournaments, duels. They got themselves ready. That's the culture that they've built. And that's the big shoes that these seniors that are going to leave this year are going to have to be filled by the sophomores and juniors that are going to be coming up next year. But, not only did they reach their ultimate goal of winning a 3A West title and another state championship back to back, they're just great people, great students, fun to be around. I mean, it's tough when you lose your seniors, but they set that legacy for the wrestlers moving up below them. So again, I'm happy to introduce our state championship team and our 8 all-state wrestlers. So let's get talking about those all-state wrestlers here really quick. I only got 5 pages of notes here, so I'll try to be brief. That was a joke. Okay, freshman Bentley Johnson. Go ahead and step forward. Bentley, he won 36 matches this year, only lost 6. He placed 5th at Vernal, 2nd in Lander, 5th at the Ronthon. He finished the season with a strong all-conference performance at regionals with 1st place, and is also an all-state wrestler with a runner-up finish at state. Our next all-state wrestler is sophomore Maddox Hintz. He finished the season with 32 wins. Where you at, Maddox? Oh, okay, good. 12 losses. He placed 4th at a tough Vernal Tournament of Champions, which earned him Wrestler of the Week honors. In Lander, Maddox placed 2nd in another tough bracket. Max finished the season with a 2nd place finish at regionals and a 1st place finish at state, at avenging the loss in the finals at regionals and earning him all state honors in his 1st state championship. That was a pretty cool match, that state finals match, especially when you toss that kid on his butt on the edge of the circle. That was good. No. Well, he shouldn't shove them into tables then, and then that won't happen, right? Okay, junior Lucas Todd. This is his second individual state championship, and he's holding the trophy. He won 34 matches this season against 7 losses. Lucas placed 5th at Vernal. He won his Bill Toman Memorial Best of the Best match with the fall in under 30 seconds. Do you remember the time? Yeah, okay. He placed 5th at Ronthon. He was awarded Wrestler of the Week for his efforts leading up to and during the state tournament. Lucas finished the season strong with the 3A West Regional Championship and a 3A State Championship, earning him all conference and all state honors. Junior Lily Harris. Don't hide. Come on up here with the team. She won 26 matches this season with only 5 losses. Lily placed at every tournament she participated in this season. She was awarded Wrestler of the Week for her efforts at the regional tournament, and she won and took home all conference honors. She followed that up with a strong runner-up finish at state, giving her all state recognition. She now knows next season to not throw a headlock when she's not supposed to. Right? Okay. Junior James Herwalt. He finished the season with a 34-9 record. He earned Wrestler of the Week honors for the week leading up to and how he competed at the Reno Tournament of Champions. He was 2 matches away from placing in that tournament. And if you're not familiar, those are huge brackets. Great teams from the west of the Mississippi to California. Just a really tough tournament. Thankful for the opportunity to compete at that tournament and get those kind of matches. Let me see. James placed 2nd at the Vernal Tournament of Champions. He was in the best of the best at Toman, placed 1st at Lander, and followed that with a 4th place finish at the Ronthon. James finished the season with a strong 1st place finish at regionals and state, earning him all conference and all state honors. Senior Axel McKinnon, did he soccer practice? Yep. That's, Axel is pretty loyal to his teams and groups. So if he needs to be at practice, he needs to be at practice. That's all good. But anyways, Axel rolled out to a 34-12 record this season. He placed 6th at Vernal. He was 2nd at Lander, finished 3rd at the Ronthon Memorial. He was awarded the Bill Toman Spirit Award at the tournament. Axel received Wrestler of the Week honors for his efforts leading up to and through the duels against Star Valley and Pinedale. And we beat Star Valley in Star Valley, so that was good. Axel wrapped up his season with a 3A West Regional Championship and a runner-up finish at the 3A State Championships, earning him all conference and all state honors. Senior Nick Weipert. You probably can see him. He's the tallest. Him and Kale are the tallest ones there. Nick earned the most victories on the team this year with 42 wins against 5 losses. He was undefeated at the Wasatch Intermountain Duels, which earned him an Outstanding Wrestler Award at that tournament and Wrestler of the Week honors when we brought him back home. He was 1 match away from placing at the Reno Tournament of Champions. Again, that's that really tough tournament. Nick placed 5th at Vernal. He won his best of the best match at the Toman. He was 1st in Lander, 3rd at the Ronthon, and he finished his season with all conference and all state honors by winning his brackets at both regionals and state. Sorry. Our next wrestler, an all state wrestler this year, Senior Kale Knezovich. Kale finished the season with a 10-1 record. You're thinking, wow, he didn't get a lot of matches this season. Well, first match of the season, Kale sustained a bad shoulder injury. He stayed positive despite the setback. It's that resilience and grit that wrestlers have. He told us he would be back and being the best leader and teammate he could be in the meantime. Kale went to work. He got his shoulder strong, got in wrestling shape again. He returned senior night, earning his first victory of the season. Came back the next day ready to wrestle against Rock Springs, earning his 100th Green River High School varsity victory. Kale rolled out 8 more victories to finish the season, winning another regional championship, giving him Wrestler of the Week honors, another state championship, and he's now a 4-time regional champion and the first 4-time state champion in Green River High School history. Yeah, the one loss was the injury default, and he was winning that match. Yeah, I know I'm only supposed to talk about all state wrestlers, but I want to talk about a few of our seniors that are here as well. Well, two of them that are here. Christian Balsley. Christian put together a very solid season for us, and the growth and improvement that we've seen from the beginning of the season to the end of the season was tremendous. He didn't place at many tournaments, but he started really getting after pins and scoring points and helping our team out. And we're gonna miss him, but his one goal this year was to qualify for state, qualify for state, qualify for state. Well, he did qualify for state, but the next match that he wrestled at regionals, he landed on his foot wrong and ended up breaking a bone in his lower leg. So unfortunately, he couldn't compete with us at state, but he is a huge part of this team's success with his leadership. And we're proud of you, Christian. We're going to miss you too, bud. And then our last senior that's here that I'll talk about is Spencer Wright. He I don't have the stats here because I just jotted down what I wanted to talk about a couple of these guys. The one stat that is kind of amazing for this young man is his 4 years at Green River High School. He didn't miss one single wrestling practice. And that is quite an accomplishment. And we do this thing every day after practice called Pay the Piper, where, you know, if you miss practice or your behavior's not up to par, then you pay the piper, your name goes on the board. Well, Spencer was there for almost every single Pay the Piper as well, even though he was never on that board. And his leadership and work ethic and grit is going to be missed. I'm sorry I cried all these things. I can't help it. But we're going to miss him too. I'm going to miss these seniors. You know, these guys represented our school and community with their great accomplishments on and off the mat. But like I said, the most thing I'm proud of them is that they're great people and they got good character. And I think wrestling is a big part of that. And they're just great kids. So if anybody else wants to talk, I'm done. Sorry.
Congratulations, guys. And we'll come up here and take a picture. You do have a challenge, Josh, and it's happened before in Green River history. You guys are moving up to 4A next year.
Correct.
In 1976, 77, they won the single A title, and then they came back and won the double A. So can you win in 4A?
Well, yeah, of course we can.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Okay, the big guys got to go to the side. They're still taller than us. All right, wait, one more back there. All right, good job, guys. We'll wait a sec so they can exit. We'll wait a minute so you can leave if you'd like. You're welcome to stay. It's always nice to recognize our successes, and the next one on our item is next two on our item, next three, really good stuff. Recognition of our 2024 University of Wyoming Trustees Scholar Award winners. Darren, welcome. And Sydney.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. First of all, I asked Sydney Hooten to come up to help us. She's an administrative intern in our district. And our assistant principals are currently at our parent-teacher conferences. So I've got some awards to hand out and I need a little help. Okay. So the first awards that I want to hand out are the UW Trustee Scholarships. And what this is it recognizes the best and brightest Wyoming high school seniors. 100 students from 34 high schools were chosen along with one homeschooled student for this award. Trustee Scholarship Award recipients typically earn a 3.95 unweighted GPA and average ACT score of 32. Formal applications are applied. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. There's a review of the high school curriculum. They review the GPA, the ACT scores, SAT. If we happen to do it, we don't take the SAT. There's questionnaires, resumes, verification from administration about all the stuff to make sure all the stats are right. There's online interviews and in-person interviews on campus. This scholarship offers a 4-year undergraduate degree, so it pays for everything up to 18 hours per semester, room and board, and mandatory fees. We have 2 recipients. The first one, and I'd like the kids to come up when I call their names so we can give them their certificates, is Laurel Kurth. Is she here? And the second student is Reagan Cochran.
Can we get a quick picture, Darren, up here, please? These are big ones. Let's lower here, David. All right, congratulations.
This next group of students is a little bit larger. This group of students we're recognizing for outstanding ACT scores. Earlier, we had the wrestlers up here. It's really easy to recognize athletic performance and the things that kids do that we can see outside of the classroom because they're spectator sports, obviously. It's often tough to see the stuff that's happening in the classrooms. You had just a chance to see some of those kids just now with the UW trustees thing. And now we're going to recognize kids that got their ACT scores. And these scores represent the top 80th percentile. What that means, for those of you that don't know, is every kid in the nation in high school has the opportunity to take the ACT test. Of all of the scores out there, we scored at or above the top 80% of all students in the nation. And these kids are going to be recognized tonight. So I appreciate you guys letting me do that at this time. And what I have on these certificates is their specific percentile and their specific ACT score. So first I'm going to have James Lethers. Is he here? Please come on up. James scored in a 99th percentile with a score of 34. Abigail Allred. Abigail scored in the 95th percentile with a score of 31. Dallin Owens scored 94th percentile and a score of 30. Mark Hildenbrand was in the 92nd percentile with a score of 29. Leah Mitchum, she had a 92nd percentile with a score of 29. Catherine Bronstein, she is in the 90th percentile with a score of 28. Alana Brown was also in the 90th percentile with a score of 28. Reese Eastman was also in the 90th percentile with a score of 28. Mackenzie Bagshaw was in the 87th percentile with a score of 27. Amy Brett, 87th percentile, score of 27. Hunter Flores, 87th percentile, score of 27. Eva Murray, 87th percentile, score of 27. Ash Anderson, 85th percentile, score of 26. Owen, 85th percentile, score of 26. Clevenger, 85th percentile, score of 26. William Dancy, 85th percentile, score of 26. Kylie Miller, 81st percentile, score of 25. And Spencer Morrell, 81st percentile, score of 25. I believe the national average is 18.
Oh, I beat the national average back in 1980. I was bragging about my 20 over here.
You know, I don't remember what mine was, and there's probably a good reason for it.
Yeah. Can we get them to come up here? We'll take a quick.
Please do.
picture. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Slide over. And slide down just a little bit this way. Yeah. There you go. All right. Congratulations.
The last thing I need to do is I want to introduce Miss Marissa DeClerk-Kalinsky. I would like for her to share information about all the great things her and all of our students have done with Make-A-Wish and the blood drive. So here she is.
I'm here. Hello, Chairman Core, Superintendent Berger, and Board of Trustees. Thank you for letting us be here. With me, I have my board, or part of it. We have our student body president, Dusty German. We have our student body vice president, Lily Janota, and our student body activities chair, Ashley Atkinson. Wow. My other one's Ashley Anderson. It's a little confusing. But just really quickly wanted to talk about Make-A-Wish and blood drive. Over the last month, we have been incredibly busy putting on the blood drive and our Make-A-Wish event. It's plural. During the blood drive, we were able to get 334 pints of blood donated in 2 days, which is insane, really. We're always in a blood drive, or not blood drive shortage, but a blood shortage. So having these blood drives is incredibly important. And even though we did not win, we're really, really proud to say that we were able to donate 334 pints, and we know we're going to come back strong next year, and we're ready to do that. For Make-A-Wish, we decided to change it up a little this year by doing a joint total and sending one amount from Sweetwater County as a whole. In the last 20 years, we have sent over, we being us in Rock Springs, have sent over $1 million to Make-A-Wish Wyoming, which is incredible. And I don't ever want to discredit that, but we have decided to take a step back and kind of focus more on Sweetwater County. So we do plan on continuing supporting Make-A-Wish in the future and always helping grant one wish throughout the years. But we want to use some of these amazing donations that we get throughout the week and put it back into our community. So if you do see us stepping back a little bit from Make-A-Wish, it's because we are going to start planning on giving back to organizations and people here and things that we see fit, which I don't think is a bad thing by any means. Imagine $1 million going into anything here in Sweetwater County. So with that, we're still very proud to say, together with Rock Springs, we raised $63,413.42. Anything I do or we do, it would not be possible without my student council. We're sitting at about 61 students in student council. These three especially step up in everything. They're running events, running the blood drive, doing all my dirty work. And I really wouldn't be able to do anything without them. So I want to say thank you to you guys and thank you to our community. $63,000 coming out of here in 1 week is insane, and it would not be possible without the amazing community that we live in. So that is everything I have.
Thank you very much, Marissa. Tell your student council a great job.
I will,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
We're going to skip the student teachers because they're doing parent teacher conferences. We'll get to them next month. Give me a break.
And
Sonia.
this month's winner is Teresa Sagley from Truman Food Service.
All right.
Oh, no, we're gonna do another one. I'll be quick about this. Roger Lundgren, Maintenance.
Green River High School. Here we go.
Wow, we're in the soccer game.
Oh, is that what you're going to do with the activity? I get it. All right. Good job. All right. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So second.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the agenda, and there's no changes, although we're 9.02, we're gonna leave that off the table. We've already tabled it, so we'll leave it there. So I need all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, consent agenda. Is anything on there anybody would like to take off? If not, I need a motion to approve, please.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Moved by David, second by Ashley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, the COSBA conference. Dr. Foose, you want to talk quickly on that, or Greg? Okay.
I'll be real quick. It was a good conference. I think what you find in COSPA is it probably more applicable to schools like ours than say the NSBA. It was a lot more rural states, so there was some of those things addressed. One of the topics that was a popular one was AI in schools, and it's not going away. And it was interesting because at the beginning of the school year, the first staff meeting, Pepper Rhino had taken a class, and she says, I don't agree with it, but we're going to have to change the way we do things because it's here. And there were some really interesting thoughts and ideas on how to use it positively, but also some of the negatives of AI to look out for. But it was a good conference, and like I said, I think it suits more Green River type communities than SBA did the last year.
All right, thank you. Ashley, on the legislative forum?
Terrible roads there and back, but it was good. Nice
You didn't
to-
take our helicopter?
I wish.
We don't have
It took me a really long time to get home, but that's okay. It was good to meet everybody else on the board and to get, I mean, I always like to go to those things and get briefed on all of the different legislation going through and the concerns and things like that. So it was good.
All right, thanks. Next is meet and greet at Granger. I'll send out a couple of dates. What night is bad? I mean, is Monday night a bad night? Okay, I'll send out some dates, and if you guys will respond back to me, I appreciate it. We'll get that set up. Next is the interest-based negotiation date. That is going to be April 25th, which is a Thursday. Because we need to ratify whatever we decide on in our May meeting. So April 25th, if there's a major conflict there with enough board members, we can adjust that, but so put that down. That'll be 5 o'clock here at central office, and they'll have us a dinner for us, and we'll you guys know the routine. So, okay, thanks. Next, personnel, consider approval of certified retirement request. Dr. Foose.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, trustees. You just can't do it justice when people decide to move on to the next journey, retirement. And Colleen is one of those folks, and really appreciate her. And we want to congratulate her on her retirement from teaching only. I think we'll probably see her on the pool deck quite a bit. So thanks for your consideration.
All right, I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Dan, second by Ashley to approve the certified retirement of Colleen Seeloff. Long career and well-deserved retirement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, consider approval of the certified resignation requests. Dr. Foose.
Thank you, Chairman Core, trustees. We have 2 certified resignations for your consideration tonight. Melissa Westenskow, Title I teacher at Washington Elementary, and Marty Rage, PE teacher at Green River High School.
Need a motion, please?
So move.
Second. Moved by Tom, second by David to approve the 2 certified resignations. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, consider approval of the selection of the business manager position. Dr. Foos.
Thank you, Chairman, Core Trustees.
Let me guess. I know this one.
Chairman, Core Trustees, I'd like to commend Darren Heslop. Oh, wait, I'd like to bring forward.
Well, you can commend Darren. He needs it.
I was following Mary on the screen there, but for your consideration, Chairman, Core Trustees is our newly selected business manager, Katie Harder. And after your consideration, she's going to say a couple words.
All right. Need a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Dan to approve Katie Harder as our new business manager. Welcome
Thank you.
and good luck.
Well, thank you for this opportunity and your faith in me and maintaining the healthy financials of the district. And thank you to Chris for all the support over the years.
All right. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
It starts April 25th. All right. Next is consider approval of the new certified contract for the upcoming school year, 24-25.
Congratulations, Katie. And back to Darren Heslop, I'd like to commend him and his team for moving swiftly and getting Danielle LaRose recommended to replace Melissa Atkinson at Green River High School in the business department. And we're excited about this recommendation and thanks for your consideration.
All right. Before we do that, I need a motion to approve Katie Harder as our business manager.
Did that.
Did we do it? Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Make sure you take the minutes and fix that. Approved. I need a motion to approve Danielle LaRose for business teacher at Green River High School. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dave, second by Ashley. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Sorry about messing that up. Next, here, presentation on the collaborative culture at Washington Elementary School. Anne Marie Covey. And her wonderful staff.
Yes.
I'd name them all, but I screwed up, so I'll let you do it.
We'll see if I can do it right. Good evening, Chairman Corr, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. It is my honor tonight to share something that we are very proud of at Washington, and that is our collaborative culture of learning. But first, I do have a few staff members here. A lot of them are back in the building doing parent-teacher conferences tonight. We have few in the audience as well, so we're glad they're here to support us. So you're going to be hearing from these ladies and gentlemen tonight. Down here at the end, we have Brian Palmer Bieber, who's a 4th grade teacher, Melissa Skinner, 3rd grade, and one of our newer faces at Washington, Jordan Banks, 5th grade, and not new to us, Tara Tolliver. We were talking as we were walking in. She makes her appearance to the board every couple of years to present. And we have Amanda Santiff, our school counselor. And by the way, Tara is our STEM teacher. And my right hand here, Danelle Bird, who's our instructional facilitator. So our collaborative culture at Washington is something we take great pride in, and we know this is a foundation for learning. And tonight we're going to share a little bit about what that looks like for our staff, what the collaborative culture looks like for our students, and what it looks like for our families as well. So let me get this going here. Mary, if I need help. There, got it. One thing at Washington Elementary, anytime we start any meeting, PLC meetings, our staff meetings, grade level meetings, we always take a moment to kind of share it out and share to our unsung heroes. We know these are the people that behind the scenes that really support and keep us going each and every day. And it's important that we take time to show our appreciation and recognize them. And on a bigger platform, we took a few minutes and put together a few of our community unsung heroes that support us here at Washington, from our BOCES to the United Steelworkers, Trona Valley, the Eagle Riders, and of course, we can't do it without our high school support as well, from EA to Green River High School, the Student Council, FFA, and of course, the Sweetwater County School District Board. And I'm going to give you a shout out tonight to all of you for everything you do to support and always put our staff and students first, and that is very much recognized. So we'd like to shout out to you as our unsung heroes tonight as we get started. So with that, Are we ready to share? All right. I'll see if I can run this. So I have a few staff that are come up and talk to you a little bit about what our collaborative culture looks like for our students.
Good evening. Okay, so we're here to talk about the collaborative culture and learning for our students. And these are just some of the things that we do that we came up with. Our leadership team came up with some ideas that we really wanted to share out. Some of the collaborative learning and positive supports that we have in our school that help our students. One is a before and after school learning opportunities. A lot of our teachers show up early, and if students need extra help, instead of going to recess or breakfast, they can go up into their rooms and kind of get some extra help on work or work on some things that maybe they're behind on. And then myself, the counselor, I hold a Zen Den twice a month, and that's where I get every kid in the school. All the classes come in. Today was a Zen Den day. It was tiring, but I love it. The kids, they get to learn social skills, how to communicate with one another, how to deal with conflict, how to tell the difference between tattle versus tell, just the everyday things that kids aren't necessarily getting, maybe not at home, or maybe, we had COVID, and so a lot of these kids didn't get to go to preschool for a few years. And so it's really fun to teach them just regular everyday social skills. We have a really good time. We also have structured play in kindergarten, which is amazing. Our kindergarten teachers have some of our paras, and they have our Title I teachers, and whoever has extra time in the afternoon, they come in for about 30 minutes, I think 30 minutes, and they set up like little games, and all the kindergartners, they learn how to play, and they learn how to take turns, and they learn how to maybe not be the winner and things like that. It's really cool. My room is next to them, so I get to hear them all cheering and laughing and having fun. It's a lot of fun. And then we have our holiday reader. We also have working to teach independence and organization. That's really important. All of our kids have planners. They go home at night that parents can sign with their reading minutes. As teachers, we try to help in the school, we work on growth mindset. We've been really working away from this fixed mindset where I can't do anything. And so we try to really promote a positive learning environment. We all support each other in supporting these students as well. And then zones of regulation. It's really just a way so a student, rather than we know that we host the best program. But our students, by understanding the zones of regulation, understanding how they're feeling, they can express that. We have the colors, and all the teachers have the posters in their room with the red, yellow, green, blue. They can express if they're feeling sad or frustrated. Some kids just understand the colors, and so they can share that. So we kind of know what we need to do to support that student in that day. And then we have scaffolding release for skills and acquisitions. I'm trying to be fast. Another thing that we have is we also have our Patriot Pals, and this is really cool. And I know as a parent of a student that does this, I have a 5th grader, they get to go and they get to work with the younger kids, and they get to collaborate and things like that. And then we have student-led award assemblies. Our 4th graders put on this amazing awards assembly, and that's where every quarter we get together, all the students, they get a vote on like Citizen of the Quarter, they get reading awards, math awards, PE awards, mathematic awards, STEM awards, music awards, things like that. And anyways, the students run it. We do we've been doing it virtually, so kids stay in the classroom. This year we did go back and we had one in the gym, so that kids kind of understand the social skills of what it's like to be in an assembly. We also have our pledge leaders, and every morning a couple of students come down from their classrooms and they help Miss Covey lead the school in the pledge. And then students have classroom jobs and responsibilities. Teachers assign students to certain jobs for the day. Some have weekly jobs, things like that. And then responsibility awards. This is kind of fun. We have some kids, and even just all kids, if we know that if student needs just a little break, we have some of these awards where they deliver items to teachers. So we have a cute little JKer, and he's Mr. Banks' friend. At the beginning of the year, we had him carry the medicine ball. We'd be like, oh, you need to bring this medicine ball to Mr. Banks. And so it'd kind of calm him down, regulate him. It was really just simple. A lot of our teachers are really good about that. If they see a student in the hall that maybe might need a second, they're like, oh, I need you to take these books to so-and-so. And so we do things like that. Supporting other students as role models. We also have some students who are, they are mentors, silent mentors. They help kids in the morning and they walk with kids and things like that. And then working to help adults and custodians. Some of our students really, really like to help the custodians, and so they earn, or helping just with any kind of responsibility. And so what they do is they get to earn that time. Like, okay, well, if you can do this and if you finish this by this time, then yes, you can go help the custodian sweep the lunchroom, or yes, you can go help wipe tables and things like that. So these are just some of the things that we have for our students, and we have more.
We have the silent mentor program, and that's where if a student is struggling, we can send out a massive email, and teachers or any adult will go in and they will encourage the child. We have a school-wide token economy. I give out STEM bucks, and so they're able to exchange that in the classroom for classroom dollars, and they get to buy stuff in their classroom. We have Caught Being Good. Every classroom has a Patriots like bingo, and the kids, if they're caught doing something good, they get to write their name or initials up on the board. And then on Fridays, Mrs. Covey will pull like Patriot. If you're under the P and a capital R, you get to go down to the office and they get a special prize. Positive office referrals. This one the students really, really like. They get to call home from Mrs. Covey's office with the praise of what they've done that day. We talked about earning special time with an adult. We have some kids that they like to earn time and go on a walk with a specific adult in the building. And then our Citizen of the Quarter lunch, 2 students from each grade level is picked, and they get to have lunch with Mrs. Covey, the teachers in Mrs. Covey's office.
I don't know, I'll just go. This isn't really my slide, but you know, I like to talk. So opportunities for fun. So obviously we have, I don't know if you know this, but you're welcome to come any Valentine's Day. It's our traditional dodgeball. So come on down next year. It's a good time. Mayumi, who's our custodial staff, she actually takes the day off now to join us in the fun for the day. So yeah, it's a great time. Kids love it. We play teacher against students, and then we play class against class, and sometimes we do grade levels. Every morning, Mrs. Covey does birthday announcements and does announcements every day about following rules within the school and on the playground. Of course, we have the holiday celebrations like every other school. We do break the rules days where kids earn money in the classrooms, and they get to break silly rules like wear pajamas or wear a hat, get an extra recess. And of course, we do that too to help celebrate Make-A-Wish and raise money for that. And then we have Buffalo Bill, who always comes in not only for 4th grade, but for the entire school. And that's them right there singing. All right.
Other things we do to involve our families of our students in our school. We have our annual Giving Thanks breakfast, which some of you might have attended this year. It's become a big hit with everyone. We have our McTeacher night, where you could find us at McDonald's working the evening shift to help raise money for other events that we do through our school. Our PTO helps us with many different things like the family movie nights. We really appreciate their help getting the parents in. We do the book fair, which is going on right now in our parent-teacher conferences. Our Title I does many events too, with reading support, monthly newsletters home, events where people can come in, or the kids can come in and get their free books. Back to school night at the beginning of the year, meet your teacher as well. Awards assemblies and talent shows, which are mentioned earlier, put on by the students. Some communication that goes on between the parents and the staff there is we have monthly newsletters that go home that just kind of let parents know what's going to be taking place that month. Certain events that might be happening, including White Top. Our parent-teacher conferences are very flexible. I know just myself, I've had to reschedule 4 or 5 this week. Just parents can't make it in for some reason, so we just go on to the next best date. We have our Christmas families as well, where we make donations to help Christmas for some of the kids, along with the Thanksgiving meals. positive office referrals, which were mentioned before. The kids get to go down there and be recognized for the good things that they've done, not always sent to the principal for the bad things that they've done. And a variety of communication. I just started using the Remind app this year, and it has been a complete game changer for me because you don't have to call every time you want to congratulate a parent about their kid or set up the parent-teacher conferences. It's been a big change for me, but also text and email too are two other ways. Phone calls and in-person meetings are things we do on a regular basis. I'm calling parents once or twice a week, just letting them know things that are going on with certain students. We, as a staff, work behind the scenes to help the parents as well. We try and meet them where they are. We know that a lot of parents have different things going on and it might affect their kids. So we try and help the parents out just as much as we do with the kids. And that involves our TIS program, which is kind of new coming into our school, but we've got lots of kids already signed up for that. And we have holiday parties. Participation goes on as well. If the kids are not making the great decisions, they might lose some of their party. So there's motivation for good decision makings there, as well as the best holiday dinners that are taking place too.
Okay, back. All right. Collaboration obviously is key for our staff, and all I can say is I know I might be biased, but Washington does have the best staff and the best family. We definitely lean on each other, support each other through thick and thin. And really, we're good at healthy discourse, because without healthy discourse, growing doesn't happen. So we have weekly PLC meetings, which most schools do. But one thing that may be different for ours is that our SPED staff and paraprofessionals all join in on our weekly meeting. So we can make conscious decisions on where kids are and what they need, what phone calls we need to make, what they're doing in BIT, where we're moving them, what interventions we're going to have. So we are doing that weekly. Our paras are crucial. We call them teachers. They're our other halves. We really couldn't do it without them. They pull small groups for us, teach alongside of us. We collaborate like crazy. We have a lot of vertical grade level conversations, and like I said, healthy discourse. Covey is big about that. So Melissa teaches 3rd grade and I teach 4th grade, and Mr. Banks teach 5th grade. And so 3rd, 4th, 5th meets almost daily in the hallway to talk about, hey, what's going on in here? How can we help? What can I teach better? What aren't they understanding? Hey, I need you to do this. And it's just very open. Our LLI teachers and paraprofessionals, I mean, again, they're just teachers to us. We have a weekly meeting where we talk about how kids are, where they need to go, if they need to move, are they making enough growth? And then also, I think it's just a little bit different in our building. We have a lot of staff that can help support them. And then we always have awesome professional development. We had a group that went to Colorado this summer for some reading training and did awesome, came back and is doing great things in their classrooms with phonics.
I just want to add on there too, some of that and collaboration, as well as even if you're having a rough day as a 3rd grade teacher, you might go find those 4th and 5th grade teachers, say, hey, tomorrow, can you come during your planning and encourage my kids that what they're doing is going to help them later? Writing is tough. Anyway, everyone, we do come together when we need it. That's my example too, is today it was one of those where I actually went to my 3rd and 4th grade teachers and I said, hey, when you get a second, can you just come in and encourage our 3rd graders that they can do writing? And of course, I go down to my 2nd grade teachers and say, hey, get these kids ready. I'm loving what you're doing too. Writing is hard. But we also do that just constantly, like sometimes even on our planning, we don't sit in our room and plan, we go visit each other. So we support each other just to say, how are you doing? Hey, do you need a bathroom break? We do that for each other too. We love our subs. Our subs are so important to us no matter who they are. And we especially love our building sub who's there every day for us. Without her, it's wonderful that if we can't find a sub, we know she can be there. And if she doesn't have the sub somewhere in the day, she comes in and checks on every teacher to say, how can I help you? Again, we've told you more and once again how important our paraprofessionals are. They're not paraprofessionals, they're teachers just like the rest of us, and they work with us and we value everything they tell us. They even sometimes have some insight to help us or even help communicate with the children in the school. And what's another part about what I love about Washington is we're actually a family. So we celebrate even things that are happening outside of our building. Like we celebrate when someone's having a baby or someone's getting married, or this isn't a celebration, but if someone has a death in the family, we make sure we have our condolence for each other and we know we're there to support each other. And of course, we definitely have monthly birthday lunches / breakfast. It depends on what month it is. This month we don't have one, but hey, there's one in April. If you want to know, let me know and I'll tell you.
We'll invite you.
We'll invite you.
All right.
Yes, it's still us. Yeah.
Okay, so Title I, we have quarterly meetings with our Title I staff where we all get together and we discuss where each of the kids who are receiving leveled literacy learning. And we talk about where they're at, what they need. And then we also provide some like, hey, as a class, as a 4th grade, as a 3rd grade, whatever grade level, these are the things we are going to be working on. Can you please help them with comprehension or finding text evidence or sounding out words and multisyllable words, or we're working on this phonics skill. Can you really hit that when they're in their LLI? And so our LLI teachers, we could also not do it without them because they're important.
And as we get closer to the final testing prep time, we also use that time to have our LLI teachers help us with test prep, just to review in smaller groups, since we can then cover more smaller groups at a time.
This is us too. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. We also have yoga opportunities by Mrs. Bird, who's amazing. We're doing a step challenge right now. We did challenge the PD and we were winning.
They dropped out.
Yeah. They gave up because we were kicking their butts, so that was great. We do play staff games.
We play tag.
We play some tag. It's a good time. Show up
at appropriate times.
The kids love it. They're like, shut the door. The teacher's coming. They love it. Covey and Bird also bring around the treat trolley. We like it. It's kind of like they're, on an airplane. They're like, would you like a Coke? And a candy or chips or whatever. They always have little treats for us, which makes us feel, loved. And
it also helps that sometimes when they come in, we also need that extra hug and they're there to give us a hug for the day.
Yeah, we do love them. Always our unsung heroes. And these two here, they love to grill. So if you are hungry too, we're a lot about food. So if you're hungry, just come to Washington because we feed people at Washington.
That one there's.
Okay, so how we do this, you've heard it reiterated over and over again by the lovely ladies and gentlemen, or gentleman, I should say, that came up. It doesn't matter where you are in Washington or what you're doing. Everyone steps in when needed. It doesn't matter. We genuinely believe that they're all our students. So it's not, that's Bree's student, that's Melissa's student. They're all Washington students. And so we're responsible for the growth of all of those students, everyone in the building. Our building is very big on communication, not just with families, but with each other. We're always stopping in, talking in those PLCs, again, in the hallways, like there's always communication. Everybody's always kept in the loop. And we have a lot of trust in one another. Like they've said before, we have some hard conversations and that uncomfortable discourse, but we all are very aware that we are keeping the students in mind when we're having those conversations, and it's not personal. It's really to help us grow each other and to help grow kids, and to have that kind of vulnerability with one another. We really have to have trust. And that's really grown a lot over the years. It's been really awesome to see. And as we're having those conversations, we always assume positive intentions with one another, that nobody's coming from a hurtful place. It's really to help everyone. Another thing is, again, everyone's willing to support without judgment. And that leads back to that trust. If you feel like you're being judged, you're not going to trust the people you're working with. And everyone really, again, is in there just to support each other. And we say this all the time, but we're not just saying it, we live it every single day. And as always, I know you've heard this from Washington a million times probably, either in the building or when we've been presenting, we always focus on those basic needs first, because we know that kids that are hungry, that are tired, that have other things going on, they don't learn. And so we always make sure that we have ensured that their basic needs are met before we start pushing the academics.
Yeah, Mrs. Bowers, first grade teacher, she was planning to be here tonight. However, a conference came up and she needed to go do that. She wrote a little something and along with this, how do we do it? She says it does take a village. And at Washington, this isn't just a phrase, it's a daily philosophy. The culture truly is supportive, stepping in when needed, offering ideas and extending grace without judgment. Even when the conversations are hard, we strive to extend a hand for growth and support. And we always find time for laughter and fun. We surveyed our staff when we were putting this together as a leadership team. I'll let you take a few minutes of this, but we had quotes that came from the staff as we were putting this together. And a picture of our staff and students last fall or last December, actually. So that is our collaborative culture that we take great pride in at Washington, for our learning, for our staff, our students, and our families. And it's a pleasure to do what we get to do. And it is truly, for me, something that I just am so privileged to get to do each and every day, work with this amazing staff, our phenomenal students, and a group of families that are so supportive. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board? All right, nice job. You got a clap on that one. Okay, the fun's over. Not that Brittany's not a fun person. It's the business part of the meeting. Consider approval of the RFP results for additional counseling services for the TIS grant. Brittany, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and School Board. In February, I requested to go out for an RFP for an in-person agency to provide in-person services locally. We had one bid come in, and so I am recommending that we now work together with High Point Counseling to come up with an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. So not to exceed 50,000 per school year. Yeah, any questions on
This
that?
is being paid for out of the
It
grant.
will be paid for out of the grant, yes.
Do we need to approve the MOU when we get it? Or,
I mean, I'm gonna say yes.
okay, so,
Sure.
all right, if
I'm learning.
the board's okay, once you get it, if you need me to sign it. Before we.
So whatever I say
I
goes
can,
is what
I
you're
can
saying.
sign, I can do that.
Perfect.
Okay, I need a motion to approve High Point Counseling not to exceed 50,000 out of the TIS grant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Dave. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Brittany. Appreciate it. Next item is consider approval of the Chromebook RFP results on a change order. JR.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, members of the board. First of all, apologies, this had to come back to the board, but upon notice that they had won the bid, Virtucom realized that they didn't include $60,000 worth of warranty in their bid, even though it is part of the RFP. So that moves us next to Archangel, who had a proposal that met the required specs, but upon a phone call with Lenovo about the specific model that they had recommended, we are not allowed to have it, or it is not available. So that's why we have today's amendment, which is for YNS Technologies, who, and I verified this with Lenovo to make sure that we're all on the same page. This model is available and meets all the specs, as well as their warranty is probably one of the best on the list as well. So that's why we would like to propose that we accept YNS Technologies proposal for $302,624.
How's that fit in your budget?
So it's under what we said, 325,000, I believe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to reject the bid from Virtucom. I need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Ashley to reject the bid from Virtucom from the February board meeting. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, I need a motion to approve the YNS Technologies for $302,624.
Second.
Moved by Dan, second by Dave. Any questions on this one?
Go ahead, Mark.
Jerry, talk a lot about warranty. How often are we using that?
Quite a bit,
We
especially,
getting our money's worth?
yeah, for sure. Yes. And the thing about YNS is they work directly with Lenovo and they have the quickest response time. So it's usually within 2 weeks that we get our returns back.
In the future, I'd like to see, I don't know what you put together, but some
Yep.
warranty information.
Sure,
To
yeah.
make sure we're getting what we're paying for on those warranties.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Good question. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, JR.
Thank you.
Next, consider approval of going out for an RFP for professional services for the Washington Elementary School elevator. We have a problem. Doug.
Thank you, Chairman, Board. So we would be asking to go out for an RFP for professional services, design the Washington elevator. You're right.
Okay. Quickly, can you tell the board the issue?
So
You were pretty quick the
Yeah.
other night at our meeting,
yeah, I
so.
mean, yeah, I'd rather wait till we get the RFP results.
Oh, okay. Secret. I got a secret?
No. So Plan One has submitted that, and I don't know that they'd appreciate if I.
Okay. The bottom line is I can say that it's not ADA and there's issues with it.
Oh, the elevator. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the proposal from Plan One. Yeah, you're right. The elevator's original equipment doesn't meet ADA standards and less than reliable.
So your recommendation, if you're using the elevator, to have a cell phone with you? There's a yes from the Washington staff.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay. Sounds like this is a good thing, what I'm hearing here. All right, I need a motion. Do we have a motion? Did I get a motion already? Did I do a motion already, Mary? Okay, moved by David, second by Mark to go out with this RFP. Any questions, further questions? This did go through the facilities committee, so. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is a request for approval to bid the McKinnon School Parking Lot Rehabilitation Project.
Yep, we would be asking for approval to go out to bid for McKinnon parking lot, front parking lot.
Okay, we were just out there last fall. It's not good, so I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second by Dan to go out to bid for the McKinnon Parking Lot Rehabilitation Project. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks.
Motion carries. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for your patience tonight. Next, here presentation on the financial forecast and the legislative session. I would recommend we keep it to the finance side because some of the other stuff those guys did were not good.
Chairman Clore, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. We do this every March. We give the update on the legislative session. And just so that you know, the WSBA put together a document with all of the education bills or all of the bills that affected education. And I have included that for you guys. And when you click on this document, you can actually click on the bill and it'll take you right to the bill. So it's like an interactive document, but it might be helpful for you rather than going out and searching for.
Let me ask a question real quick. Does everybody get the WSBA email on Tuesday? Does everybody get that? Okay, all right.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
So that was in there. I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was really good.
I clicked on about the first three and I was upset, so I quit clicking.
Yeah. So with that, just so that you know, the school finance funding proposal that was recommended through the committees and to the legislature did go through the budget without discussion. So I think that's a great thing, and we're going to operate off of that. Of course, there were plenty of other bills that, sorry, my voice is getting rough here. Anyway, there was plenty of other bills that you guys can have for bedtime reading. So at any rate, so the talk that I'm going to have tonight is just to kind of pull it all together. We're on the verge of putting our budget together for next year with what's happened in the legislature. And so that's what this short discussion is going to be about. So for this next fiscal year. I just listed some of the budget considerations that we all need to be aware of. Thank you. And of course, we want to maintain and take care of our employees, retain our employees. That's always been the board's priority. We want to, as much as possible, maintain some of the service levels that we've become accustomed to and that we're afforded with by the ESSER grants. We aren't going to be able to do everything that we did with the ESSER grants, but we want to prioritize what we've done and hopefully maintain what we can through the grant. The other thing that we're going to be dealing with is some inflationary impacts, just like the whole world is dealing with, on utilities, on insurance, on supplies. I mean, everything you see, it's got inflation behind it. We need to be cognizant of the decrease in student average daily membership. And I have a little chart to show you where we're at as of today on that. And then also we have a slight funding loss with closing a rural school in Tolman. We will lose the funding for that in the 25 school year. And we knew about that. We talked about that last year. It's here now. This is a chart just updated from last year that shows you our history of our ADM, and we were on a 2-year increase at that top row. We were going up slightly for 23 and 24, and then this year we've taken a dip down of 77.81 kids. That was as of yesterday, which means that our rolling average, if we did it today, would go to 2,329 students for our funding purposes, which is down 34 over our funding ADM last year. So it's just one of those things. We deal with it every year. We've been dealing with a slight decrease every year. So the recommendation, as I mentioned, that went through the budget bill is listed here. They categorize what they're giving in terms of percentage of increases to each category that comes to the district in terms of what that adds to the model. So the percentages don't mean a lot. It's just that every category was covered, some more than others. And you can see that energy and supplies were covered more than others, and I think they're trying to address inflation there. The other good news is that the ECAs that were granted in 22-23 and 23-24 are sustained, which is a spin-off of what they were doing prior, where they were not sustaining them going forward. So that's good news as well. And the model health insurance amount within the model did not increase, so we'll be dealing with that. We didn't get no bump in our health insurance funding coming through the model. And of course, we will be reimbursed for our special education and transportation expenses, which will bring those increased costs that we had this year back to the district next year. So to pull it all together and to transition to this post-ESSER funding, I'm looking at this as it's going to be a very collaborative effort on the part of the district. We're going to utilize our model funding. We're going to utilize grant funding options, and, you know, shout out to the people that are working on grants and our grant coordinator. I mean, we've seen more grants this year than I think I've ever seen. Different types of grants coming in, and they're all doing a different purpose. And so I appreciate that, and that's going to help us in the long run. We're going to have to utilize attritional savings whenever possible. And we may be in a position where we may have to potentially do a one-time use of our cash reserves when necessary to get this transition to happen, to get back to a post-ESSER cycle of funding. So every school district in Wyoming is in this position. And you heard about it. If you watched any of the legislative sessions, they knew this was coming. They planned for it. They increased our reserve allowance for this. And this is our charge now. I wanted to just touch on a couple of bills. I talked about the document that they had out there. If you can stand to read it, there's links out there to make it easier for you. They did have one piece in the budget bill, which is a funding for K-12 mental health service grants. It's ADM based, and there are funds set aside, $10 million statewide And that could help us. We would have to apply for it. Additionally, most people, I don't know if they paid attention to this, but this has come back. Public employee retirement plan contributions will increase for the next 2 fiscal years by 0.25% each for both the district and the employee to increase the total contribution 1 percentage point up to 19.62%. This is to keep the retirement system more funded at a higher percentage. When they do their analyses, they see that this increase is necessary. The one thing is there's several property tax relief bills in here. There's refund bill, there's relief bills, there's discounts, whatever. And they are on your education bill list. And that's because they are going to impact some of our tax collections in the future. So, you know, if there's discounts, some of these, especially on the optional mill levies, it could be less funds coming in on those optional mill levies. And there won't be a backfill for those. There will be a backfill for the school meals, the 25 meal and the 6 meal, because the state will backfill through either entitlement or less recapture funds to make your guarantee whole. But we'll have to be just watching for that. I have no idea what these discounts might entail. I think it's going to be fairly minimal because property taxes are the lower amount of the revenues that we get. You know, we get most of our revenues from minerals, a higher percentage than property taxes. So just wanted to give you that heads up, and we'll let you know as we know. So do you have any questions?
Questions? So I believe that if my math is correct, we're looking at a minimum $725,000 deduct from ADM and the loss of Tolman. Roughly.
I'm calculating at about between 500 and 560,000.
Good, I was wrong. Okay. And she's absolutely right. There's 15% is what we've always been able to put in reserves, and we've been able to put 22, or they're up to 30, and I think we're at 22.
Yeah,
roughly
you're about
22%.
22. Mhm.
If we're going to do some things that we need to do, then that's the pot of money we got to look at, knowing that those are going to be recurring costs down the road. So it'll be interesting. So appreciate it. Any questions further? Thank you.
Thank you.
And since we're kind of talking about the legislative session, I'm going to save it for my comments. Next is, we're not doing 9.02. That is still tabled. 9.03, consider approval of the Green River High School Student Council discretionary monetary request to attend Jostens Renaissance Global Conference. Mr. Skinner, welcome.
Thank you. Chairperson Core, Superintendent Behringer, distinguished trustees of the board. I'm joined with 2 of our student leaders today, and we are here as we appreciate your consideration for support and assisting our funding for this leadership opportunity for our students. We have 7 student leaders from our student council and 2 educators of the district who will be attending the Jostens Renaissance Global Conference, which is focusing on school, culture, and climate and student leadership, and that's taking place in Orlando, Florida, July 15th through the 18th. The Jostens Renaissance Global Conference is the largest educational conference in the country focusing on school culture and climate, and numerous ideas that our student council uses for student and staff recognition that we do at the high school comes from this event each year. JRGC will help our student leaders make change in their schools by bringing together action-oriented educators, administrators, and students from around the country. Our student leaders will be able to bring their learning back to GRHS and immediately begin to implement positive changes to our already successful school. The students have been working on raising $2,500 per student necessary for this trip, where they will gain valuable leadership traits to help serve their fellow students. Some of the fundraising activities have already included our daddy-daughter dance held last month, the Mummy and Me dance in October. We have an upcoming dinner at the Eagles, music bingo night, t-shirt sales, and we've also begun the process for submitting a request to BOCES. Last year, Green River High School was recognized as a school of distinction, and we're hopeful to receive this distinction again this year. We would like to ask the board to assist us in this endeavor, even though I drive a Ford, and we thank you for your consideration.
Is that a Ford Endeavor? That was bad.
But I appreciate it.
That was bad. Sorry. So Brad, if I understand you right, you're about $5,500 short without the BOCES grant?
Yes,
So how much did you put in for BOCES?
35, I believe. 3,500 request.
Okay, we typically do 175 a kid.
Mhm.
And we typically pay the registration fee, or we have in the past. So I would propose to the board that we make up the difference between the BOCES grant and that, and it'll be less than what we would do if we did the 175 for students and the registration fee. That would come out to about $6,700, and this is gonna be 3,300, something like that. So we're not doing any special treatment here. It's less than what they actually need. So it's up to you. Whoever wants to make the motion, that would be my recommendation.
Well, if we normally do registration fees, why aren't we doing that?
Well, I don't think the purpose of Mr. Skinner's trip is to make money.
Correct.
Oh, true.
But you could not do the BOCES grant. It's sixes.
Yeah, it's hard to
It's all
say
tax money.
how we'll
So,
go on.
huh?
Tom and I are on the BOCES board, so I don't know. We haven't discussed that yet, but
Well, I'm impressed with the amount of money you've raised.
We're working on it.
That's impressive.
We think it's an important endeavor, and we also know we've been able to see the value that our community has in offering. We work in conjunction with the students that are going to the Washington DC trip from Lincoln Middle School, and so those dances have been a lot of fun for our community members, especially those the fathers who. It's kind of the one time a year they say they get to dress up and take their daughters out for a special night, and they just have a lot of fun. So we appreciate being able to be a part of that.
Okay, I guess I would either give food for thought here. It's we could do $3,000. Not 3,000. We could do 2588, which would cover the 3,000, and the 5588, the 3,000 is a BOCES grant, or we could do 5588, no BOCES grant. Or we could do nothing, or it's up to you. I need a motion.
I just want to input that BOCES typically will not fund anything over 25% of the total cost, so we'll figure that in. About $2,500 about what you're gonna get out of BOCES, I think, so typically.
yeah.
So that's 39,997 based on the 15,988. So they're asking for $3,000 for the BOCES, so that's under their 25% threshold.
Yeah, all right.
If my math is right. So I would recommend we go 2588. They do the 3,000 BOCES grant and you're done for raising money. And it keeps us under we're not going over 175 per kid and all that. So we're not doing that. So
What's the dollar amount?
it would be 2588.
So a motion to approve 2588 with this trip.
Okay, moved by Tom, second by Dave to go with 2588, and then you'll go get your BOCES grant and you should be done.
Sounds wonderful. Thank
Okay,
you.
any other discussion? All those in favor?
Okay.
Opposed, motion carries. That'll come out of board discretionary. Chris? We do have a student discipline issue we need to deal with. I need a motion to, let's do the board comments first. I'm gonna go first. Brenda's not here tonight. She is actually at the CDC meeting and they're having a pretty important meeting tonight. And she didn't think she could make it. So that's why Brenda Roos is not here. She's actually doing her other board function with CDC. So I thought I'd mention that. Man, we had some good stuff tonight. Dustin Shilcock started us off, and he's such a great guy and does a lot of good things. And then the wrestling program, and how about the UW scholarship students and our ACT scores and Make-A-Wish and student council and our Washington Elementary presentation and pretty good stuff. And I thought the rec board meeting was very good. I thought we did some really good things tonight. So that's all I have. Craig?
I'd like to thank the community of Green River for helping us host the regional basketball tournament. We've hosted bigger tournaments, but nothing with more emotion than the basketball tournament. So packed gymnasiums, great crowds. There's a lot of work that go on behind the scenes. And so and we heard even from losing fans that they were appreciated the hospitality they had while they were here. So.
Well, Tony was at the championship game of both of them. And when I made the comment congratulating the teams that won it, I made the comment about how we hosted the regional and we got a standing O. The people there winning, losing teams, it was outstanding. And I don't think I've ever seen as many people in the gym as I saw in the Rock Springs Green River boys basketball game on the first night. That was a good thing the fire marshal didn't walk in. Crazy. All right, Ashley.
Yeah, just congratulations to all of the great things going on around our district, and good luck to everybody with parent teacher conferences, and thank you all for your hard work and good luck with this last quarter.
Yes. All right. Mr. Young.
Nothing new. I mean, you guys have said it all. Thank you.
Okay,
for
great.
everybody.
Thomas.
Oh, well, first of all, Dustin Shilcox Allen, thank you for bringing him forward. He's an amazing individual. He did donate $100,000 to see the Skyline Trail project come to fruition. But hats off to our community because William H. Smith is donating their time for engineering. Searle Brothers is doing the entire project for the price of fuel. That's the community that we live in. So hats off to all of them, but Dustin, he's absolutely amazing. I've said this many times at our board meetings, but success starts with leadership. And you saw it tonight, Anne Marie, what you got going on at Washington, Josh Wisniewski, Marissa, Make-A-Wish, and the student council. It all goes back to leadership. Hats off to Blaine Christensen, who got selected to coach in the Shrine Bowl as an assistant coach. I think that game is June 8th. And then hats off to Danny Flom, who had the courage to go on a ski trip with Lincoln Middle School. Got a taste of some supervision things when he spent most of his day in the infirmary. So anyway, thank you.
And I would mention that joining Blaine on that is Axel McKinnon. We heard his name tonight. And then one of the students was introduced, Destiny German. It was either ACT or one of a, she's going to be a manager or trainer or whatever for the South Shrine Bowl football team, which is pretty cool. All right, Dan, are you recovered?
I'm okay. Yeah, we did have a lot of fun. It was fun to be with the kids. It's a lot of different change from when I was doing it. So, but hats off to Beaver. I know they're Utah, but that was probably one of the best round programs. When we got off the bus, they had 4 instructors grab all 4 kids. They got skis. We had ski lessons done within an hour of hitting the slopes. So it was very impressed to see how managed they were and how well they were taking care of the kids. Yeah, it wasn't the funnest trip. I didn't get to ski as much as I wanted to because of some incidents, but it was a blast. I'll probably get conned into doing it again next year. But yeah, I love all the stuff we're doing. The ACT scores. I really don't want to remember what mine is because I think every one of those kids beat me out the water. So yeah, good job.
The only reason I remember mine is because I had a bet with my dad.
How easy was a test back then?
It was pretty.
I don't remember the test. I just remember I got a 20 and I won the bet. He said, there's no way you'll get a 20. And I won. All right. It was an easy test. Mark.
Yeah, thanks for everybody's hard work. Everybody said everything. So have a good one.
All right. I need a motion to go into executive session. We have a student discipline issue we need to deal with.
So moved.
Moved by Dave, second by Tom. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you for your attendance tonight. Appreciate you coming.
I need a motion to end the executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I need a motion to approve the student discipline number 005.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. You know, one thing we forgot tonight, Tom?